Welcome to another episode of Humanly Plausible. Now, welcome your hosts, Roly and Richard from Pink Studio Central.
And I guess just for the record, maybe, because this is your second time with us, and just for the record, introduce what you do,
Yes. You know how I do it.
No, yeah, we just gonna flow into it.
Starts filming.
If you don't know, now you know. This is Jordana.
Yes.
Somebody. So
Yeah.
Come on.
Let them know. Just
Tell us, yeah.
2-minute version of you.
Oh, goodness. Jordana Foster with Ready, Set, Go Beyond, CEO of Ready, Set, Go Beyond. I am a business and executive coach. I'm a leadership, communication, and sales trainer, and I'm a keynote motivational speaker. It's a lot.
Nice.
So I work with executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, and high-level managers that are successful, but there's something that's getting in the way of next level for them. It could be their leadership, it could be their mindset, it could be their communication skills, it could be their processes and infrastructure. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Teams, I do training for teams with regards to communication, and one of the things, especially for teams, is to take managers who are put into roles that have no business leading because they don't know how to lead or speak to people and motivate, inspire them, and to transform them into the managers that they need, the leaders that they need to be, not just filling a position that has a title. And
Excellent.
then I love to speak at engagements and corporate, annual retreats and just to really get everyone together and not just to have them feel good, but the strategic next steps that if they could do one thing after leaving with me, which they all do, I want them to have some accountability. So
that's awesome.
But I'm so happy to be here with both of you.
Well, we're
you
happy.
guys really, woo. So
I think I think one of the real huge benefits, and Rolly, of course, you can weigh into this, is in our work we deal with clients, and sometimes we're hired to do branding, marketing, content creation, all these wonderful things, but in the process, we're seeing vulnerabilities in either leadership, operations, processes, everything you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So having you as part of this team, in a sense, is important because, when we're doing advertising and we're doing content, we're making promises on behalf of the client to the consumer, but can they fulfill those promises given their infrastructure and given their commitment to delivering what they say they deliver?
And what's so interesting about what you just said and what both of you do is that you give that other perspective that most, and I'm going to say agencies, but creative, marketing and all of that you do. And there's so many services and offerings that you provide. But because you're noticing those things, those gaps that you just said, well, we're noticing these things. Are they noticing those things? And if they are or aren't, are they willing to do something about it? So the fact that you notice it is that recognition and awareness sets you guys apart from all the other agencies, because that's that, for me, that's that next level. That's, of service, of taking them, not just with what they want to do from a marketing standpoint, but what does that look like for them culturally and within their organization? So I really want to applaud you guys for that, because I appreciate that insight that you bring. It's like that next tier.
Well, I had this crazy visual like in my head as we were talking, because I'm thinking about a family. I'm thinking like So I'm thinking like an outdoor barbecue party.
Yeah.
And a family barbecue, right? Picture this.
Right.
And I feel that a lot of times we get invited to the party, and then we're like, yeah, we're having a great time, and then the crazy uncle comes out.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah, where did this guy come from?
And so Jordana's job is to get that crazy guy in order.
Get him some help. Yeah.
No, it's not. So, but it's true though. Like, it's a great vibe, and then there's always that one family member that throws the whole thing off. And sometimes, in our case, it's the one that runs the company, the CEO or the president, or head of a team, right? So it's important that, especially with our experience, I mean, I've been doing this all my life. That can really throw the whole thing off, because it doesn't matter that we go out there and we advertise and we bring you 50,000 clients, but if you're going to destroy those 50 clients by your customer service, then you're going to spend tenfold in PR and resurrecting that brand that you just destroyed.
It goes back to something, I think we broached on this a little bit in our last conversation, but we always talk about it, and Rolly really brings it up, is that as an organization, you would think that your employees should be your most consistent and most vociferous brand ambassadors. Yet,
look at Richard with the word.
That's an SAT word right
that
there.
Is. That's a Scrabble word.
That's a lot of points in Scrabble right there.
Really
I'm terrible at
But, you know, what's interesting is
that
that vociferous.
Spell it.
Yes.
I can't.
Vociferous.
Why are you gonna put me on?
Ooh,
Yeah,
say it
man.
again. That's like a spelling
Vociferous.
bee. There you go.
But yeah, but it's important because when we look at the opportunity to serve this client, I'm thinking about a situation literally just coming here today, and I was interested because I knew you were going to be here today. Our leaders investing in the professional development of their employees on a regular basis. And I'm bringing this up, not going to mention names, of course, but I asked a person who's a digital marketing specialist at a company, how many conferences have you been to this week? Because he was talking to me about the fact that his boss is not ever happy with the results that he's getting, even though he's doing a great job in terms of his digital marketing campaigns and things. But of course, the expectations of the boss for return on investment are up here, right, where it's incrementally going up, but not as quickly as the boss wants. Right. And the question I asked him, how much time are you given, or how many resources are you given for professional development? How many conferences did you go to last year that your boss, since he wants these results, is he investing in your skill set? He says, I've never been to a conference sponsored by my boss. Talk to us about that, Jordana. Why aren't people and organizations and leaders making that a priority, yet they want the results?
That's a great question. First of all, and you said something while Richard was speaking, it's either some of them do it, or they're not doing it at all. And I don't know that they see the value in, and I'm going to say this very carefully, it's not about what they spend, it's what you invest. Yep. Because it's what the cost of something is versus the value Correct. That you're getting from what you're spending, that cost, right? Yeah. So these companies and the leaders and CEOs and owners of the company and whatnot, the people who are running it, they have these grand expectations for what they want their people to do. And interestingly enough, within the context of the organization, they're giving them the technical skills, okay? This is what you need. This is the product. This is the service. This is what we need from a digital, marketing, whatever that might be. Mm-hmm. But what they're not doing is they're not equipping them. This is where I come in. Like, this is it really tugs at my heart and my stomach, because it's so frustrating to hear this, because if they don't have a coach for the new managers or leaders, or they don't have training for the people that they have these expectations for, they are setting them up for failure because they don't know how to speak. Like, what are the priorities? Yeah. Let's talk about what they are. If he's saying he's not getting there fast enough, I would come in and want to have a conversation and say, what is it that you told him you needed? And then how are you supporting him to get there that way? But a lot of times it's about having an outside facilitator, coach, or trainer, whatever you want to call it, that is going to identify the languaging and the messaging and basically hold the CEO or whoever this leader is accountable to what they say they wanted from their people. Yeah. And if you don't do that, then don't expect them to perform, because you're giving them everything from a technical product service standpoint. But these are things that aren't taught in school, how to communicate well, how to lead well, like all of these different things, mindset, when you hear a no, all of those things are in my wheelhouse. And it's when they have them, their performance and results are off the charts. Right. But it's going to be an investment. Yeah. But they will reap the rewards and the dividends once they invest. It's very short-sighted that they don't understand that.
So we got to jump to the box, because I was focused on Jordana not sabotaging the show, and she did it again.
I'm her accomplice. I'm clearly her accomplice. And literally, this happened this morning. So and I had to use Jordana as a resource and her to spread the wisdom, because I'm sure this is not the only organization, but it is time for the box.
It is true.
goodness, this box scares me.
Scares
Oh,
me.
yeah. You do well on this. This is all
How
you.
does consumer psychology influence advertising tactics?
Wow.
Wait, what?
Are you serious?
How does consumer
That's
psychology?
completely off.
Oh no, this is good.
That's
Well, I
Right.
love psychology
No.
because
I was about to say this is right up your alley.
Let me paint a simple picture.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So
Create the framework for that.
this, because again, from past experience. So here's a simple one. So product design, packaging,
Okay.
right? So we had a client, and sales were they were I think 5 or 8% below where they needed to be. So we took a look at their shelf display,
Okay.
at all their retail distribution centers, and so it came down to as to we started looking at the overall the competition and how they were laid out amongst this competition. It wasn't the issue was the price, so they were underpriced, right? And then the
Okay.
packaging didn't look up to par.
Right.
So what did we do? We
Oh.
raised the price, redesigned the packaging, and boom, 15% increase.
Perception of value
That is
changed.
psychology
Yeah.
in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And so what do? We change perception.
For
And a lot of
sure.
people think they need to reinvent themselves. And no, sometimes it's basically the same conversation we've been having, is understanding what's going on,
Mhm.
truly. Understanding, because we are talking about psychology, because
Yes.
the
Yes.
dynamic
That's huge
of
for me.
culture
Yeah.
in an organization is the psyche of people. Because if I can't allow to have a space where you can come in and thrive, then I'm not doing my job. And so I think there's a lot of these different things that are going on in today's society, especially now that we have social media. That's a
Right.
heavy
Yes.
psychological influence, because
Yeah.
now we got my mother-in-law like talking about the craziest things on
Yeah.
social media, and she talks about it like it's factual.
Right.
And then you have AI. So AI, people think that
that's a
AI.
whole nother. We don't have time.
No,
to
we don't.
talk. I know.
It's always like a landmine, but we're
Yes.
not. We're not going
Yeah,
to.
yeah, it is a landmine.
That's a whole hour show.
But everybody thinks that AI does not make mistakes, and it does. It's not 100% fact. That's why it's important, and we talked about it before, is that you can't rely on doing everything via AI. So, like, if you don't have skills in marketing and you rely on AI to do the marketing, it could take you down a road that,
That's just
Right.
time.
Right.
Yeah,
It
it's
could be
not
devastating.
appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
because the way we use it is we verify it, we use it to brainstorm, we use
Yes.
to look at different things in a
Right.
different way. And before we used to hire different people to do this type of brainstorming, now we don't. I can brainstorm instantaneously
Yeah.
Right.
in different ways, different perspectives. So back to the question.
But the
I
psychology,
painted
so
a
that
big
picture, so interesting. So,
Yeah.
with regards to and because we have an advertising background, right? I mean,
course.
so
You used to write for
emotional
the-
intelligence,
when you-
because I was
wait,
a copy director.
Exactly. When you still
And
write
so
for
the
these
words,
catalogs.
right? So
Exactly.
when I would, Godiva and Bloomingdale's, and a lot of
Yes.
those clients were my
Yeah.
clients, and so
Right.
we would go to New York, and we would, and all these different things. We needed to understand, you don't just come up with copy, and you don't
Right.
just come up with a design because it looks good and sounds good. You have to understand who the demographic is, just
Yes.
like with what
Exactly.
both of you do and what I do. You have to read the room.
Yes.
So if you're not reading, but you have to also understand what makes them tick. And you just said it's not just for the brand to look nice,
Right.
or the logo to look great. What is it that you're trying to convey?
Yeah.
What does the audience need? And I'm talking too
that's
loud.
me.
What
No,
do
no.
we need to convey?
Me hitting.
And yeah, because I can talk loud too.
No, you're good.
So what does it need to convey? What does
Yeah.
the audience need? All of that. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you talked about price, and that's the first thing that I want to address, when it's too low, the perception is
Yes.
it's not good quality.
Correct.
It's not up to par with the competition. And so no matter how good it is, and this is for any of our businesses, okay, if we go too low and we price things because there's an apprehension or we want it, the way they're seeing that is not what you want it to be. They're going to pass by it no matter how great of an offering you have, how
Right.
the
Exactly.
quality, what's in the bottle, the can, the box, whatever that is. It's not, whatever our offerings are, it's not going, they're not going to see it
Not gonna
because
connect to
they're
it, right.
clouded. No.
Yeah.
And so there's a judgment and perception there
Right.
immediately.
Mhm.
Now,
Judgment.
with
Now you're,
regards
now you're
to,
preaching.
Yes.
I know, right?
Go right ahead. Yeah. Judgment.
So exactly. But I think that people are kind of wary of if I go too high and if my price is too high, there's a confidence that comes with quality.
Yeah.
And I think that all of us.
Who's this? Oh my
Goodness.
What in the world is that?
Please stop that. I
That was you?
apologize. Here,
Oh,
hand. I'm so
another
sorry.
sabotage.
Oh my gosh. No.
It happens. This is life
It's
in
like
real
if you
time.
It's like if you sneeze on the truth.
It's
So
life in
just
real
happened.
time. No, go.
But I
We're
Anyways,
good.
go ahead.
but I really think that it's so important to understand, to have that confidence in what you're offering, what your clients are offering, what both of you and what I offer.
Yeah.
Because if it needs to be representative of the value that we bring and what we provide to our clients.
Yeah.
And so your knowledge and expertise and guidance and that product and that service and the marketing and the design, all of that, the price needs to, it's the value that they're getting.
Yeah.
It's a deliverable.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like when things are on a higher shelf
Yeah.
versus eye level, like all of
Yes.
those things come into play.
Well, there's major brands out there, like the big ones that are in the retail and the stores, that they spend a lot of money in this aspect and in the studies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
research,
And
in
then
this
that's-
area.
And focus groups,
Yes.
like I love, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the psychology, I mean, that goes back to our discovery, why we do it in the first place. Because
I
Yeah.
love your
Yeah,
discoveries.
understanding.
They're very thorough.
and you know what? It's to determine the psychology of our target audience. You know, I'm thinking about one of our favorite clients. I think I'm not overextending when I say one of our favorite clients is York County Community College, Wells, Maine. Shout out.
Fantastic.
The reason I'm bringing it up in terms of consumer psychology is in that particular branding, we were taking, it happened right at the beginning of COVID.
Okay.
And one of some of the value propositions of the school were that community college had the lowest tuition in the region, accessible, a tremendous roster of different opportunities in terms of their curriculum. They had workforce career pathways, all these beautiful things. And what happened was we were dealing, and we were at a point of time where we were matching. There's an organic fear that a lot of people have with going back to school and, you know, can I afford it? Can I work my schedule around it and all this kind of thing? But we also had externally, we were living in a time of fear in this unprecedented times. You know, we were hearing all these messages at the time.
Right.
So as we looked at the consumer psychology in this time period, in this situation, and for this service, in this case, a community college in Maine, we want to attack fear. And so the tagline that we came up was York County Community College, find the fearless you, which
I
was
love
an
that.
assertive stance in a time where people were living in fear. And at the same time, acknowledging that we get it. Going to college is a fearful endeavor to a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of working people that know they need to get a degree or whatever the case might be. So understanding the psychology at that time helped us come to that kind of assertive brand statement, understanding
I love
that we
that.
could tap into that.
That's pretty
Yeah.
strong. That's
Well-
the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah,
That was,
let's
I
talk
mean,
about
let's
it.
talk like that's
And put it front and
don't
center.
you- Exactly.
Well, I mean, down to the mascot. We changed the mascot because in the focus groups, people were just like, oh, like we just don't feel like that represents who we are.
Right.
So visually, the audible, like just the overall communication, we had to redefine it and to paint a picture of who they really are. And so, yeah, I mean, that was huge. So the psychology there was tenfold because after that happened, like they just, I mean, they're still going out.
They're
Like,
doing amazing.
they're
We have
killing
to give a
it
shout out to Stacey Chalicki and President
Oh,
Michael
my
Fisher. You know, we mentioned
We're
them. I
looking for
figured
I love
sponsors,
that.
please send us money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, the psychology and human behavior is
Yes.
just so
It is. It's important.
part of everything that we do. And if we don't pay attention to that, we're not having those conversations
Yeah.
and we're not asking the right questions, whether organizationally with our people, self-awareness within ourselves,
I like
or
that.
even with our clients, we're missing so much that we could really do a deeper dive and give them the results that they want or get the ones that we need.
So,
100%.
so I'm
Yeah.
thinking closing thoughts. You know, we're speaking to our. I'm always
Too fast.
I'm the black cloud of the conversation.
Closing
I know.
thoughts here.
Closing thoughts. We're gonna end this. So, no, I think again, like based
we
on
have to
this
do it more than
question
once.
on the psychology, because you brought up huge points as far as the value of your service or product. I think so. Let's, we're speaking to those business owners out there that, they should pay attention to this
Yeah.
psychological aspect of things. I think let's just see if we can end it there. Rich, you want to go first?
I just want to say very quickly,
Around
when I
Make
think
it
about
short, Rich.
when I think about Jordana, I would
really
say this. I would say this to every CEO, every person that's leading a team: get your mind right
Okay, there you go.
to get your team right. You got to get your mind right first.
So you're saying psychology, fix your damn, go see a therapist first.
Get your mind right. Get somebody like
Agreed.
Jordana into your office.
Yep.
Find out how you can be a better leader and therefore have a better team. Get your mind right to get your team
Amen.
right.
That's very strong. I didn't even know, like, drop the mic.
That's it.
I think the other part of the mindset and the awareness is also being able to communicate what you then learn. You know, what is it that the questions you ask once you gather the information and ask the questions or pay more attention to your people, to yourself, to your clients, what their needs are. That makes all the difference because that's the psychological component that a lot of, we're moving at such a rapid pace. We really need to slow it down a bit and just really pay attention what people needs, what their needs are, and ask those questions and pay attention to the behavior and the psychological aspect, and it'll pay off in really big ways. That trust is formed and results happen, and we grow our businesses and ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think for me, for these business owners out there, I think you got to go beyond the checkbox. I think you have to
go beyond.
So, oh, that's right. There it is.
That's it.
So I think you need to live it, right? You got to practice it, and I think you need to be about it. And what I'm saying and what I'm referring to is that people think like, oh, I need to do employee training. Hey, get HR to do employee training, but they're not really.
They're not invested.
They're not invested.
Yeah.
Or hey, let's get an advertising and put a little cool campaign together and push that product. That's gimmicky.
It's performative.
Exactly.
It's performative.
And last thing, and this is a plug for you guys too. I know I have to. I'm sorry. Is that when you have somebody? I know when you have somebody who is doing the trainings or doing the marketing and doing the branding that's in-house, and nothing against having in-house staff.
Right.
Good point you're making. I know.
There's an expression that I use all the time, and it's not mine. You can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. And you cannot. And so when I come in, I'm asking questions and seeing and hearing things that they're not seeing. And that's why we address it. When you guys come in and do branding and marketing and all of those great things that you do, you're seeing things because you're not in their day-to-day. And you're able to spot things and capitalize on that and optimize that. So that's where I just wanted to add on what you said, like you brought in HR. Everybody you have, that's wonderful that you have an in-house team. But when you need to have that outside perspective from us to be able to take things to the next level, to see things they're not seeing.
And there you go, my closing
That's
thoughts
it.
brought to you by Jordana.
100%. Jordana does it again.
High five. Awesome. Don't leave me hanging out. Here we go. So once again, thank you guys. Thank you for being on there.
Definitely always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. We'll have you back again.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you.
Open your eyes.